What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the JT Sports Podcast. We got a special guest on tonight's episode of JT Sports After Dark. We got my guy, the BigKatt. What's going on, man?
Hey, pause up. What's good, man? Thank you for having me here.
Hey, man, I appreciate you for coming on, man. Make sure that you guys go ahead, subscribe to my guy, BigKatt, host of Panthers Uncensored. This is my favorite Carolina Panthers content creator out there, man. Also fuck with them off the cameras, too. And, you know, the season is just around the corner. You know, training camp is coming up. The preseason is coming up. How you feeling about the Carolina Panthers right now?
Man, I'm feeling ecstatic, man. I got to tell you this right here. I can feel it calling in the air tonight. Hey, listen, though. Bryce does something to me, man. Hey, never mind the negative connotations of him being short, him being small. This kid can play. He's hyper intelligent, man. They're already projecting him to be like 2 years in the playbook as far as his mindset. This is what they're coming. This is the buzz coming out of minicamp, going into training camp. And again, today it was breaking news. He just signed his contract here. So, yeah, man, I'm ready to go. We're feeling good, man. We're feeling good. And I honestly think, you know, this year Panthers fans have something to be excited about. And I'm expecting for us to make a strong push for the playoffs.
Now, if you guys haven't already, make sure that you guys subscribe to Panthers Uncensored. Also, make sure that you guys go ahead and check out the JT Sports Podcast. We are available on all podcasting platforms. We're not just on YouTube. You can find us on Apple, Google, Spotify, Amazon, wherever you get your podcast from. You can find the JT Sports Podcast. Rate us 5 stars, man. We're really close to 100 5-star reviews. We're trying to get to 100 by the start of the college football and NFL season. So make sure that you go ahead and give us a 5-star review. We would greatly appreciate it. And big shout out to BigKatt for coming on tonight.
Hey, man, listen, it's a pleasure always to do any kind of project with you, man. I always said this, man. You don't get the love you deserve, man. I'm always going to give you your flowers, and I'm always going to rep you, man. You're a good guy, man. Good kid, man. I really appreciate you for having me on.
And we appreciate you for coming on, man. Bryce Young, number one overall pick. There are a lot of expectations for Bryce Young. Again, if the Panthers are going to end up having a successful season this year, Bryce Young is going to be asked to do a lot. And do you think that there's a little bit too much pressure on Bryce Young? Because people are expecting him to be the next second coming of Jesus on the football field, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Well, just like Jesus, either he gonna rise to the top or he gonna go down trying. No, man. Listen. I'll tell you this: there's pressure with him being number one, man. Listen, you can't avoid it. You know, greatness comes to great players, man, and you know. You can't have the number one overall pick. You can't be, you know, drafted. I mean, you can't be playing for Alabama. I mean, but pressure's not a thing for him. You know what I mean? Is there too much expectation? No. I mean, when you're taking number one, you're expected to deliver. Now, what I will say is, I think the better question is, does he have everything he needs to exceed year one? And I'll say this, I feel like he has enough to show that we can make the progress in the right direction. I'm not going to say he has everything. You know what I mean? I think we can upgrade our receiver core a little bit more. I definitely thought we could use potentially maybe a Ezekiel Elliott, some kind of bully back. You know, he doesn't have to be the feature back. I would like to upgrade that. But, you know, for right now, Bryce, you know, the weight of the world's on his shoulders, man. But I tell you this, you know, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. And I think he's going to make the best of a decent situation here, man. I'll tell you this, you know, his brain – it's probably the highlight of his features. You know what I mean? No one's going to mistake him for being 6'5". No one's going to mistake him for having a laser arm. But one thing you can't do, you can't mistake his mental aspect for just a normal quarterback. What separates him from C.J. Stroud, Anthony Richardson, is that brain. It's not even close. No disrespect to those guys, but it's not even close. His mental capacity is 10 times sharper and better than those guys.
And what are your expectations for Bryce Young going into this season?
That's a great question, man. I'm expecting playoffs. That's me personally. I don't know anybody, the Panther fan. I think he has what it takes, man. I don't really see them coming out here just like dominating. You know what I mean? I know a lot of people will say 4 or 5 touchdowns a game. Listen, if my quarterback came out here and threw 4 or 5 touchdowns a game, I'll be fantastic, fanatic about that. But really, if he comes out here and shows me going into year 2, there's promise, or we can add a piece here or a piece there, and we can get better, I'm okay. I think we can make it to the playoffs, but realistically, man, he come out 9 wins. I'm hype. I'm hype over 9 wins. And that might just be enough to win this division because the division is horrible this year. There's a lot of rent-a-center quarterbacks in this league. I mean, in our division. So I'm hyped over that if that happens. But realistically, I think Bryce can get it done. Playoff, that's my expectations. And stay healthy too, man. If he can stay healthy, because I'm personally, I'm tired of hearing about the short stuff. I'm tired of hearing about the injury-prone crap. I'm tired of that, bro. It's starting to get old. This nigga don't play from top high school or the Del Mar out in California, Del Mar. This man don't came in Alabama, top college. You don't play it against guys twice the size of you, and all he does win, and perform. So, man, listen, I'm tired of hearing that. And I think this year my expectation is playoff, bro. I mean, listen, I'm not going to cut him no slack. I don't care about him being a rookie. We talked about his intelligence. We talked about how he's able to manipulate the pocket. We talked about him being a playmaker. So, yeah, I want to see that. I want to see all of that. You know what I mean? And obviously it's a team sport, but I need to know my captain is full control. Even if he is a rookie, man, he needs to be in full control of his offense. He needs to look comfortable. I don't want to see him get into here year 1 and all those stereotypes that people are saying, him running for his life and he get hit one time, he is real. I don't want to see that. You know, I don't think we're going to see it, but, you know, he needs to show that he's in full control of his offense, on, off the field, you know what I mean? And then, you know, hopefully it turns into a playoff berth.
From a performance standpoint, individually for him, how good do you think he's going to be? Are you expecting an Andrew Luck or Justin Herbert kind of rookie season?
Here we go with these. I told you about this comparison, boy.
I'm just saying, like, Andrew Luck right out the gate was looking like a top 15, top 10 QB. And Justin Herbert, ever since he first got the starting nod, 15 minutes against the Kansas City Chiefs and, you know, pregame warm-ups, your coach comes up to you and says, you know, you got to go in there and start. And he comes out there and dominates. And he's been the elite QB ever since. So it's like, you look at Bryce Young, how good are you going to expect him to perform this year?
Well, I'll tell you like this. When you're talking about Bryce and Luck, you also got to factor in that their physical ability. First of all, they were apart. They looked apart with the stature. And, you know, they threw apart because they got both of those guys had big cannons, Andrew Luck and Herbert. Bryce Young don't really have no cannon, and he don't necessarily look apart like those guys. But, like I said, I can't knock that, you know, because his intelligence is there. With that being said, although I think he'll perform, it's not going to be no 4,000-yard season. It ain't going to be no 30-plus touchdown. It ain't going to be no 500 rushing yards. You're looking at probably if – and here's the best of the best, man. Best of the best scenario, you might get him throw 25 touchdowns. That's the best. That's an absolute fantastic season. He throws for 25 touchdowns. Realistically, you're looking somewhere between, you know, 18 and 20. You know what I mean? Maybe he throws for 3,500 yards, which isn't bad. 3,500 yards, 18, 20 touchdown, decent, man. And it's not necessarily, it's not just him, it's the weaponry around him. Although I like Adam Thielen is not burning nobody vertically. Good route runner, sound route runner. He can make you miss with his technique. But listen, you know, he going up against Sauce Gardner, somebody, he's locked, okay? He's going to be locked, all right? Mingo, rookie, I think he's really good, but it's going to take him some time. Our number 2 receiver, DJ Chark, he's fast as lightning, but, you know, his bones ain't very good. They get a lot of injuries and stuff. So I put it to you like this. Bryce's numbers is not just going to reflect him being a rookie, but it's also going to reflect the fact that our receiving core is not necessarily ready yet. You know what I mean? Me personally, I don't know if you follow the Georgia Bulldogs. I'm hoping we get my boy
Brock Bowers.
Oh my God, I heart Brock Bowers so much, man. I want to get it. I'm going to get his jersey. Excuse me. Him and another guy, Lad McConkey from Georgia. He's like an Amendola almost. Yeah, McConkey and Bowers. We need a star, man. We just need a
You
star
got
receiver.
Jonathan Mingo though, and I really like Terrance Marshall. I like Terrance Marshall. I'm dead serious. Like I was really high on Terrance Marshall. People forget how good he was
Yeah,
with
you really
LSU.
high, but
You don't believe in Terrance Marshall?
look, man. I treat Terrance Marshall like the police. Guilty until proven innocent. trash until proven good.
I feel like he's gonna be solid. And we get into the offense now.
I don't believe in him, dog. I'm sorry. I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong for saying it. I just don't believe in him. He got to show me. Listen, I told you I'm tired of giving away my. I'm going to support the young man no matter what, but I'm not going to sit here. I'm a realistic guy, bro. Terrance Marshall has a ceiling on him. I think he's gonna be mid. You know what I mean? This could be better than he's not gonna be trash, but he's gonna be better than most. But let's not play with ourselves here. What do you think he's going? Let me ask you a question. What is your comparison to Terrance Marshall, the finished product? Give me Terrance Marshall finished product. What do you compare him?
I feel like he can be the equivalent to what Michael Pittman is with Indianapolis. He's solid. He's a top 20 receiver. But with a quarterback like Bryce Young, though, he'll make him look better than that, though. Bryce Young, the label that they have with Bryce Young is that he's this point guard. He's like the Chris Paul of the quarterback position. Like you say, he doesn't have the strongest arm, but, he gets the ball out really fast because he can process defenses. The way they kind of describe him, they kind of make it seem like he's going to be like a black, smaller version of Joe Burrow, just with the ability to be more athletic and better with extending plays and maneuver in the pocket, honestly, because his processing ability is crazy. So if a guy like Terrance Marshall, he should be elevated by Bryce Young. You feel me?
I don't know, man. My expectations is Bryce's numbers are gonna be a little down because his receiving core. So much of those numbers are gonna be elevated because of Bryce. Then other half of his numbers are going to be down because of, let me tell you something. Somebody who you probably ain't really talked about is Hayden Hurst. Hayden Hurst is an elite. Yeah, he's an elite tight end, man.
I like
Hayden
him. He was going crazy for the Bengals. He was really underrated. Really underrated.
I think him and Bryce are going to go nuts, bro.
Let's go to this.
Okay.
The Carolina Panthers offense, how are you feeling about it?
Man, look. I outside of Hayden Hurst and Adam Thielen, to me, those are your secure catchers. Thielen and Hurst. Everybody else is yet to, be proven. I mean, Chark can be good. I watched Chark a couple years ago, man, in Bank of America Stadium. He can be good. He just can't stay healthy. So, if Chark goes back to that guy he was in Jacksonville before they traded him, then we got a problem. The league got a problem. If Chark can go back to the old Jacksonville when we got a problem. But right now, and I ain't talking about, remember I told you I don't do what ifs and what if, but far as right now, I mean, Bryce is going to have to, you know how you open the question up? You open the show up talking about pressure, Bryce is going to carry this thing. Miles Sanders at running back, let's keep it a buck. Miles Sanders had a great, fantastic year, but it took him 4 years to crack 1,000. Think about that. He was with Philly 4 years, nigga never cracked 1,000. He had one good year where he had over 1,200 yards. You know what I mean? Coincidence, lucky, what? I don't know. I'll tell you this. It helps when you got Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, you got what's his name? Donovan Smith. Yeah, you got him, and then you got Dallas Goedert. You got 4 different weapons you got to key on before you can key on Miles Sanders. So I'm willing to bet because of that, he benefited. Plus, he had a good offensive line. But he's not going to be that same guy in Carolina. I just don't see it.
Y'all got a good offensive line, though. I mean, y'all was churning out rushing yards. With what? Deontay Foreman?
Yeah, Foreman and Chuba Hubbard.
Yeah, so it's like y'all offensive line should be pretty good this year.
But what I'm asking you is this. Do you think Miles Sanders can be the future back in Carolina? I mean, what do you think?
I don't think he will be like an elite back, but I feel like he'll be solid enough to get the job done. And honestly, like, I don't feel like he'll be the feature back because I really do like Chuba Hubbard. And I think he's an effective running back where you have him in a role where he's being a complementary piece.
All right, so let me ask you this: bigger threat, Jamal Williams and or Jamal Charles. Was it Jamal Williams? Jamal Williams
with the Saints.
Yeah, or Miles Sanders.
Honestly, I probably would take Miles Sanders. I feel like he's more explosive. Like a lot of Jamal Williams' touchdowns was in close scoring range. You feel me? Like some of his touchdown numbers is kind of inflated. Good player, but I think Miles Sanders is more explosive. And the thing with Miles Sanders is like I agree, like he isn't like a great back, but I do think that, you know, he benefited from what he had in Philadelphia, but he was a pretty solid back. You feel me? Like he is pretty talented. He is explosive.
And let me tell you how it's gonna go, man. Carolina ain't doing no deep throwing down the field. It's a lot of check down, side to side, quick passes. You know, we don't have that guy that threatens you vertically. I mean, Chark can be that guy if he stay healthy. But, I mean, he's not a guy who can catch in traffic and go out there and make plays. I'll put it to you like this. There's no guy on our receiving team that if you left him one-on-one, that would eat somebody alive. Maybe Thielen. Thielen may cause a little problem. But that's just because he's a route technician. But it's not because of speed or nothing. So, you know, you're gonna see a lot of bubble screen. You got LaVisca Chenault, you know, who's a running back in my mind. A lot of check downs, a lot of crossing route. And because of that, I think the tight end is gonna eat. I think Thielen's gonna eat. That suits him. You know, short yard play suit him. And expect for Miles Sanders to catch a lot of passes out the backfield. And hopefully, and here's my thing. If Miles Sanders can't get it going, then that negates the play action. So if you can't run the ball, you can't play action. If you can't play action, you're getting sacked. So Chuba Hubbard, second-year guy, I know you said you like him. We call him Slippery Feet on my channel, Slippery Feet. But I mean, he does some nice things, but I'm not sold on it, brother. I'm not sold. If their name ain't Hayden Hurst or Thielen, I'm not sold, man. We need to get one more body in there. And why won't we bring in Ezekiel Elliott, man? Bring him in as a backup. Don't even put him in
a little bit too much. A lot of these
man, you tell you what he get.
But honestly, I feel like Fournette would be a better replacement because I don't really
we don't want him.
Elliott guy even got any juice anymore. Like he ain't that same back that you remember him being. Like I remember he used to be that running back who used to, you know, come downhill, and get 4 extra yards falling down. You feel me? Yeah. His explosiveness is not really the same, but it's like you can find some other good running backs anywhere though.
Kareem Hunt, another guy who I want, man. I'll tell you this right here, and you're absolutely right, because him with Tony Pollard, you really didn't see that. You know, I was thinking Tony Pollard giving him a rest, you will at least see a more fresher, healthier, more productive Ezekiel Elliott, but you're really right. You didn't really see that.
But honestly,
yeah, I
like Jonathan Mingo a lot. He reminds me a lot of A.J. Brown. And Steve Smith likes him a lot too.
Yeah.
And you know, like, let me ask you this. I want you to confirm this. There's a rumor that I saw that apparently when y'all was trading for the #1 overall pick and the Bears said, hey, we need DJ Moore, y'all cried. Like, y'all organization ended up crying from making that move.
You mean physically crying?
Like, yeah, they said, like, y'all getting rid of DJ Moore made y'all cry. Like, y'all front office, like, y'all loved him that much. Apparently, he mean that much to y'all organization. I can find the article for you.
Well, I can't confirm that there, man, but I did hear him say that, you know, it was a painful move, but they had to do what they had to do. They said they didn't want to do it, but they had to do what they had to do. Because apparently, when the Panthers made an offer for the #1 pick, this was after the combine, and some other teams had made an offer, and it wasn't good enough. So they had a small window. So there was like 2 or 3 other teams trying to negotiate, and none of them had made the offer that day. So they had to sweeten the pot. They literally had at least hours to sweeten the pot. Because they would have let another day go by, somebody else would have counter offered, and it probably would have been, probably the Cardinals or maybe even the Colts. But because we hurry up and threw in him, it was a no-brainer for the Bears, man.
Now, do you like Jonathan Mingo?
I like Mingo. He's just young. I think he's going to do some good things, you know what I mean? He's naturally gifted, naturally talented, and I think he will make some big plays. You know what I mean? I'm not expecting like a 1,000-yard season out of him. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about that prediction, man. But he got it in him. I mean, if you look at his measurables, you look at his build, and you look at the way he plays, everything about him says he's going to be special. But how special can he be in year one? I don't know.
Now, how you feeling about the big boys up front?
Love them. Now listen, that's one thing you won't hear me complain about. I absolutely love our offensive line. I think it's the most underrated offensive line in the NFL. You got Akeem Aquanu, you got Brady Christensen, you got Bradley Bozeman, you got Austin Corbett right guard, and you got Taylor Moton right tackle. That's the all-star lineup. And they're going into year 2. Oh, I love it. I love it. We picked up my man from my NC State as well, Zavala. You know what I mean? I mean, we finally got a little depth back there, man. We got a little depth on our O-line, man. So if there's anything on that offense that makes me happy outside of Bryce Young, it's that O-line. To me, that's the deal breaker. That deal to me, if the offensive line can play like I think they are, which is a top 10 offensive line, then all that stuff I just said about Miles Sanders goes away. You know what I mean? All that stuff about these receiver corps being average goes away. You know what I mean? But again, I mean, like I said, injuries happen, things happen. But that's a top 10 offensive line, bro. You're looking at a top 10 offensive line. And Ikwanu's getting better, man. He's getting better. He's just getting better, man. Corbett, again, Super Bowl winning champion right guard. Bozeman, experience. I know you said you like the Ravens. Shit, man, I love our offensive line. And Moton, I think he was dealing with injury last year. He's been on Rocket Gibraltar before, Akeem Aquanu. I love our offensive line. Can't get enough of our offensive line. I'm going to take them niggas to dinner one day. Want a McDonald's.
Now, last thing I want to ask you about the offense is this.
Yeah.
What's your ceiling? If everything goes right, okay. What's the best this offense can be? Top 10, top 15? Then I want your floor. If this offense hits the fan and there's some struggles, how bad would they be? And then what's your overall prediction for how you think this offense would do this year?
Okay. I'll say this. Our ceiling, I think top 10. I won't go higher than 10. I think we can nudge our way inside the top 10. You know what I mean? If Bryce does everything I think he's going to do, get the ball in his hand quick, make plays. Adam Thielen, he's the guy who I think he's going to be. Hurts pretty. To me, my only reservation is who is our number 2 receiver. Thielen is good enough. He's not great. He's not average. I think he's good enough. I mean,
why
slightly
you so low on
above.
Terrance Marshall? Like, what you don't like about him? What's his struggle?
I don't trust him, man. Plus, he's been injury prone. I haven't seen enough. But let me tell you something. I seen Terrance Marshall in the preseason, his rookie year. And I said, golly, boy, he reminds me of Muhsin Muhammad, man. Obviously that's why I wear number 87 on my jersey, my favorite player of all time. So when I seen him play in the preseason, I said, man, this guy's going to be special. People say that him and Matt Rule got into it. That's the reason why he didn't play his rookie year. Truth be told, I just got to see it, bro. It's nothing personal. To me, I think it's a lot of hype for Terrance Marshall. I heard this shit about, I know you watch college football. And they were talking about LSU. They were talking about this guy was better than Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at LSU. This is when he was at LSU. All of them were at LSU. But he got hurt. This is what they were saying. But I could tell him, motherfucker, this ain't LSU. You know what I mean? And he don't got Jamar Chase.
People just judge a receiver based off, sometimes their helmet. If you come from LSU, they just automatically assume you're good. People judge some players by helmets like, the stigma against Ohio State quarterbacks. Oh, he comes from Ohio State. He's not good. It's kind of like that with receivers. Like, you go from LSU, people automatically are going to give you the benefit of a doubt.
Yeah, it's just like Georgia, because go dog sick, woo, woo, woo. Just like Georgia, when it comes to running backs, we're running back you. Let's be honest. We're running back you. Todd Gurley, Nick Chubb, I mean, you got our offensive coordinator. He came out of there. Who else? You got Garrison Hurst. I mean, Sonny Ware, Sonny Michelle. I mean, we're running back you. I don't care what nobody say, okay? But just because you come from Georgia don't automatically make you a good running back. I mean, just happen to be a lot of good niggas go there. But like Terrance Marshall, just because you play with Justin Jefferson
doesn't mean you're as good as him.
And you ain't good at him. So I think he gets a lot of hype because of that. And his numbers may have been good when he was there, but he couldn't stay healthy. So I don't believe we got a number 2. So back to your original question. If that guy can, and I'm not hating on him. I ain't got no hate. I don't know the guy. I ain't got no hate in the brother, man. I hope he does well. Hope he shuts my mouth up, okay? Let me say that. I hope he shuts me up. But with that being said, if this guy can turn that corner and be that number 2 that I think he can be, then you're looking at a top 10 offense. If not, and let me tell you this, we're gonna find out real early, nigga. Listen to me. We're gonna find out real early. We got the Jets coming into training camp. So we're going to see a lot of one-on-one battles. This nigga out here getting locked up and get him out of here.
Come on now,
listen,
dog. Come on, man.
The nigga can't get off the press.
Come on now,
get
dog.
Me go in there and let's roll, bro.
Come on, man.
You know, to me, I hate to say it because I know he early in his career. You know, to me, first of all, we should have tried to get Denzel Mims. We should have tried to get Mims. You know what I mean? What did they trade him for? What did he get? What did they get?
So if he makes the roster, the Jets get a 6th-round pick, and the Lions get a 7th-round pick.
That's it.
If he makes the roster.
Yeah, we should have tried to got Mims, and you know, to me, he got more talent than Marshall. But anyway, I'll put it to you like this: I'm on a bubble with Marshall. People are saying that this guy is this, he got that kind of talent. I want to see it this year. If not, y'all need to be looking for trade partners and put Mingo up there. I'm ready to see throw Mingo in the fire. You only get better by repetition.
You learn Brown was good his rookie season. These wide receivers coming out snapping early, right out the gate.
Yeah. And now think about this. Now, last year we seen Olave was a rookie. Snap. Yeah. Garrett Wilson snap. So it ain't no sitting back. You gotta wait 10 years. Either you're good or you're not good, bro. It ain't no I gotta get adjusted to the NFL. So much of that's true, but really, if you're good, you're good, bro. So, like, to me, I'm giving Terrance Marshall to the preseason. If that nigga don't snap in the preseason, bro, I ain't gonna say preseason. I'm gonna give him to what we got? I'll give him the first 3-4 games. I give first. That nigga don't snap, bro. Put Mingo at the number 2. Let's keep it pushing. But back to your original question, top 10 offense if that nigga can get it together. Now, my floor for these guys, let's say Marshall doesn't do what I think he's going to do. Hayden Hurst turns out to be mid. Thielen turns out to be mid. You're probably looking at 15 to 18 range. If everything don't work out the way, you're probably looking at a 15 to 18 kind of offense. You know what I mean? And Miles Sanders struggles, on the ground, 15 to 18. That's our ceiling. That's our floor. Our floor, 15, 18. Our ceiling is top 10.
Why you feel
like I'm not going no higher than top 10.
Why you feel like the floor is that, 15 to 18 range? Why not a little bit lower? You think Bryce Young is just so good that he's going to be able to carry the offense?
Yes, I think Bryce is the difference maker, man. Bryce is the difference maker. I think we're going to – listen, you got to understand me when I say this, bro. We're going to win so many games because of Bryce and Bryce alone. He's just that good, man. The kid's that smart. He's that talented. We're going to win so many games. So, fortunately for the rest of the offense, if they do have a game where they're struggling and playing like crap, well, you got Professor X back there. You know what I mean? He's going to come out and win some games. Now, here's the thing. Let's go back to your original question here. Is there too much pressure on Bryce Young? What we don't want to do is feel like he got to go out here and win us every game to the point to where he gets hurt. We seen one guy who felt like he had to win every game. What was his name? You see where he's at. He's on fucking Arsenio Hall now. Well, look, so my point is this, bro. Look. Here's my point, bro. if we want to win, people got to step up. I know Bryce is good. I know Bryce is smart, and I know Bryce can deliver. But this team got to step up, bro. You know, I don't want him. Listen, I know there's pressure. There's pressure there for being a number one. There's pressure coming out of Alabama. There's pressure for being a Heisman winner. But you shouldn't have to carry that alone. Okay? So if this offense get to the point to where he's holding this together, that's not good. And he's probably going to end up, doing what a lot of people say and getting hurt, man. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in speaking on that. But if it goes like that, bro, that's what's going to happen, man. I don't want to see that happen.
Now, what's your overall prediction before we move on for how you think this offense will perform?
My overall prediction, man, when it's all said and done, man, that's a good one, man. I think we're outside the top 10, man, but I say not by much. Maybe 12, 13 rank offense. We're going to be like a 12, 13. To me, 15 or below, you know what I mean? That's bad, but anything over 15 should be decent, man. Top 13. And by the way, nigga, you need to get in my fantasy league, bro, so we can run, bro.
For sure. Send me the link.
Man. Yeah, I got you.
Everybody, I appreciate you guys for tuning in to this episode of the JT Sports Podcast, a.k.a. JT Sports Live. Shout out to Afrophysicist with the $10 donation and D114U who says BK on top. Appreciate you for the donations. Make sure that you guys check out my guy, BigKatt at Panthers Uncensored. We're glad that he's on talking Carolina Panthers football with us. Yeah, and we've touched on the offense, right?
Oh, yeah.
How are you feeling about this Carolina Panthers defense going into this year? Because Ejiro Evero, I finally learned how to pronounce his name.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, he got some pieces on this defense. Who was number 49 last season? Whatever.
Luvu.
Luvu? Bro.
Luvu, come on.
People do not know how good he was last season.
We talking about Luvu Osei.
Frankie Luvu, man.
That's my favorite player, man. That's my favorite player on the team.
He was always making the play last season. Like, this potentially, I feel, could be a top 10 defense this year.
Yes. Realistically, man, you're looking at probably, if everything clicks. Now, again, I have to say if everything clicks, you're probably looking at a top 10 defense, man. Brian Burns is going to linebacker, outside linebacker. Now, physically, I understand the young man is very gifted, probably the most talented player on this defense and on this team as far as athleticism. We're talking about athleticism, probably the most athletic player on the team. But it's a whole different ball game when you drop him back into coverage. We don't see a lot of athletic motherfuckers look real silly when they one-on-one. You know what I mean? So I think he should get it. I think he can get it. Plus,
why are they changing his position?
Because he's best suited with his hand off the ground. And listen, man, if you haven't watched Carolina football, Brian Burns was playing the standard defense end or edge rusher. With his hand in the dirt, he was already a force to be reckoned with. But when it comes to the run game, he's not very good at shedding run blocks. I mean, when you got pulling tight ends, pulling guards, if you run at him, it's good night. I mean, if you get a body on him locked, it's a good night for Brian. So, in theory, if you back him off the ball, and now you already take a guy who's super elusive, super fast, and you say, hey, I'm going to give you a 5-yard head start. In theory, he should be blown by niggas left and right. If I back that guy up so quick, so fast, 5 yards off the ball, and I got to make your big slow ass block me or try to catch me, oh, it should be good night. You're looking at a guy who probably going to get 15-plus sacks. He should be in the Defensive Player of the Year conversation. Again, this is in theory. In theory. The only thing that can ruin this little theory of mine is, A, he struggles in coverage and, he's giving up touchdowns left and right. And B, I tell you this, and I don't want to speak this in existence, but just because you're playing linebackers, they still got linemen and fullbacks, H-backs, and tight ends. They climb to the next level. Now, here's the bad part. When you're playing defensive line, if you get blocked or washed down, so you guys don't know, you got a defense end on the end of the line of scrimmage, you got a pulling guard. All right, when you have a pulling guard, they do one or two things. They're either going to kick you, meaning they're just going to wash you straight down the line, or they're going to wrap you. That means they're going to go around you and they're going to wash you inward because they're trying to get the edge. All right, they want to trap you, try to get the edge. Now that's okay when you're playing on the D line because you got linebacker help. Now if your ass get kicked and wrapped at the linebacker spot, ain't nobody back there but the safety. So, so a guy who struggles with shedding blocks and stopping the run, backing him off the ball and hoping he does that, you better hope, man, because you're going to be giving up a lot of goddamn yards because the safety's going to be trying to stop. You know, it's just not going to work out well. But, again, this is in theory. So I'm not saying this is finite. But I like to believe that Brian Burns probably going to have over 15 sacks, man. I think he's going to do all right in coverage, man. But, again, you know, it's hard to see. But as a whole, this defense could be top 10. I like Derek Brown. They moved him to defensive end. I don't like that move. I think Derek Brown was coming into his own as probably one of the best defensive tackles last year in the NFL. But they're moving him to defensive end. He's never been a pass rusher. Going back to Auburn, I was to watch him against the Georgia Bulldogs. That he was just a run stuff, and he was just a big, mean, heart attack clogging motherfucker. I mean, he's just that kind of guy. So to put him at defensive end, you're expecting for him to get a pass rush, and I don't like that. So, man, I don't know, man. I know you hype about Ejiro Evero, but you're really putting a lot on his linebacker core, made up of Shaq Thompson, Brian Burns, Frankie Louvu. Who else we got back there? Oh, you got YGM, Uter Gross-Matos. You got him. So two of your linebackers are guys who haven't played full-time linebacker in the NFL yet. Brian Burns played with it a little bit, but he has never played full-time. YGM never played full-time linebacker. So I know you're hype about Evero, but you're taking two guys who never played full-time linebacker and now saying, hey, here's your new position. Will it work? Well, I don't know. I don't get paid $1 million to find out. That's for that nigga.
Now, how you feel about the secondary? Because I heard some rumors. Somebody told me that, what's his name? Jimmy Chin or Jeremy Chin is beefing up because, you know, coming out of college, he had the versatility to play a little bit of linebacker. So apparently he's been beefing up and he's about to switch and play more linebacker this year. So, like, what's your thoughts on the secondary and Jeremy Chin? Yeah,
he ain't really confirmed that they had an interview with him. He won't really let the cat out the bag, but you know, silence tells it all. Silence screams the loudest. So to me, more than likely, he's probably going to be in the box, which will help out with our linebacker situation. Our secondary, man, me personally, I think we need a little more help, man. I mean, Dante Jackson, J.C. Horn, two of the best cornerbacks in the league when healthy. But here's the reality of it. Again, man, I keep telling you, I don't like to deal hypotheticals. I don't do hypotheticals. So check this out, bro. Them boys is good when they healthy. But the problem is they ain't been healthy for the last 2 years.
Did J.C. Horn just
2 years straight? Huh?
He just got injured a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, nigga got injured. I mean, I think he re-injured in minicamp. Listen, I'm scared, man. I'm scared. You know, we took this guy by the name of DJ Johnson. You know him out of Oregon?
A little bit familiar with him.
Yeah, so you don't know him. So DJ Johnson out of Oregon.
Their secondary wasn't that good last year.
DJ Johnson's a linebacker, man.
Okay.
He's a linebacker out of Oregon. He's supposed to be like the robotic super nigga. Yeah, I mean, they said physically he has the intangibles of being like, I don't know. They got him like this super strong, fast, violent, experimental linebacker guy. So I don't know, man. I really felt like that pick should have been a corner because outside of Dante and DJ, I don't see it, man. Keith.
Let me ask you about J.C. Horn real quick again.
Yeah.
Do you think he's in jeopardy of becoming the next Jason Verrett?
Oh, man. Damn. You'll go there. Well, look, man. The best talent in the world is availability. And no matter how good you are, you can't stay healthy. It don't matter. So I'll tell you this. J.C. Horn, not only does he need a good showing this year, he needs to be healthy this year. And unfortunately, man, if he doesn't, it could lead to some kind of a trade or something, man. But I honestly think, man, because he don't get the love he deserves. Honestly, I believe that he's probably up there with Sauce Gardner. He's up there with Sauce Gardner for best cornerback. He just can't stay healthy, bro. He just can't stay healthy, man.
I want to say he's up there from Sauce, but I do give him his.
Nigga, I'm telling you, yeah, bro. I'm telling you, yeah. Damn.
But it's like, he deserves respect. You feel me? Like, he is a top 10 corner without a doubt. And then if you want to say top 5, okay, cool. It's like, I'm okay with that. You feel me? It's like, he's good. But what about CJ Henderson, though? Do you think he's going to be able to ever tap into why he was ever a first-round pick to begin with? Because he was getting cooked against Mike Evans, fam. Like, y'all needed some help out there at that other cornerback spot because Mike Evans going off 3 touchdowns with the division on the line?
Yeah.
Like, what's going on with CJ Henderson, BigKatt?
Let me tell you about CJ Henderson. Last year, I went to the Saints game. I sat row 1, I think seat number, I forget what seat it was. Row number 1, section 130-something. So right in the back of the end zone. They're playing the New Orleans Saints. In the middle of the play, CJ Henderson was covering Jarvis Landry. Now, during this play, thank God Jameis Winston didn't look Jarvis Landry's way. Jarvis Landry put the juke on this nigga so bad that CJ Henderson was looking up at the crowd, looking at us. This nigga was looking at us in the middle of the play. This is how bad he got juked. So does that answer your question?
But it's like he was a first-round pick, and it's like
hey man, that shit don't mean nothing. Ryan Leaf was first-round pick. Marcus Russell first-round pick.
But like, has he been kind of like Jeff Okudah? Because normally with positions like cornerback and receiver, those guys are instant impact. It doesn't take you long to know if they can play. But Jeff Okudah, this is somebody who, you know, he shuts down Justin Jefferson the first time the Lions play during the first half of the season. He gets injured, come back, and he isn't the same. So it's like he's inconsistent. Is that the kind of player that CJ Henderson is, or he's just, you shouldn't really be starting him as your outside corner?
Yeah, I think that's a good comparison. Okudah and CJ Henderson. Really, Okudah been hurt, man, because I was high on Okudah coming out of college at Ohio State. But I think, man, so many injuries can really demoralize your spirit. I'm going to be honest with you, brother. There's a strong possibility that Okudah could have a bounce-back season if he stays healthy, man. I just think his health hasn't really been there. CJ Henderson's been healthy, but he's fucking trash. I'm just going to be honest with you. There's no bounce back season for him. You know what I mean? I don't know if he'll make the team, bro. I don't even know if he'll make the team through training camp.
Damn.
I'm gonna tell you this right here. You got guys. You know, you cover Last Chance U, right?
Yeah.
You know Rajon Wright, the cornerback.
Yeah, out of Oregon State, real long, rangy. Yeah.
He's on the team, and he probably is gonna make some noise. So I don't expect CJ Henderson to make the team, bro.
You think he possibly could be a starter week 1?
Who?
Rajon Wright.
Nah, he ain't gonna be no starter. He probably be a nickel. You know what I mean? Probably be a nickel. I don't think he'll be a starter. He ain't gonna be our 1 or 2. I mean, but I definitely think he'll be there. A guy who I'm on the fence about. I don't know if you know anything about Keith Taylor. Remember he came out of Washington. Keith Taylor's a big 6'2". He was supposed to be quote unquote like, I don't know, Richard Sherman-esque. Because you know when that Legion of Boom came around, people start taking taller cornerbacks and shit. You know what I mean? So Keith Taylor, who's a guy who's really disappointed me, man. Did you see what Deontay Johnson did to him last year?
It was on my TikTok.
Now, granted, it's Deontay Johnson, and granted, we had some injuries, but Keith Taylor looked like he was fucking lost, man. So that's a guy who I'm on the fence about, man. I'm really hoping he gets his stuff together.
I like Bottom your safeties, though.
Say that again?
I like your safeties, though. Like, not just do you have the chin, but you got Von Bell. Mm-hmm. And what I'm about to say may be a hot take, but I think he was better than Jesse Bates last season.
Okay, I agree.
Like, I feel like Von Bell was really underrated on Cincinnati's defense. And the fact that y'all got him, and you got another good safety in Jeremy Chin who can pretty much do everything.
Mm-hmm. That's not bad, man. That's not a hot take, nigga. That's a normal take. Yeah, I think Von Bell and what they're going to do, a lot of these guys that play safety, they're going to be bringing them up to the front, and they're going to try to get as much pressure as possible, man. Some of these guys can be some real good pass rushers and also stop the run, you know what I mean, if you stack the box here. So, secondary-wise, yeah, listen, I think we're all right, man, but we're just not deep enough. Like, to me, if everybody stays healthy, then we can say, okay, this is a good secondary. But realistically, you don't have enough depth back there, bro, from the cornerback spot. I mean, I just don't see it. The highlight of our defense is that linebacker by the name of Frankie Louvu, Derek Brown up front, and if J.C. Horn stays healthy. To me, that's it. I mean, not to mention Brian Burns, but if you're talking about like consistent, productive, impact players, J.C. Horn, Derek Brown, Frankie Louvu, they're going to get it through the mud. They're going to get it through the mud every play. I mean, they rarely take a play off. I mean, those guys are there. So, other than that, man, I mean, we ain't got a lot of depth, man. We need more depth, brother. We need more depth.
So, how good do you think this defense is going to be?
All right. What I got to say about the ceiling. The ceiling is a top 10 defense. You know what I mean? And the floor, you're looking at probably 15. Okay? But realistically, what I honestly think they're going to sit at, man. I don't know, man.
Defense was good last year.
I don't like this 3-4, brother. I don't like this 3-4. I don't like this 3-4 at all. I think this defense probably going to be at 18. We're going to be below the floor. Yeah, listen, I said the floor is probably 15, ceiling 10. I think we're probably going to be like around 18-ish. And that's because I don't believe in the run in the 3-4. It really has nothing to do with the players. It's more so the schematics of it. You're listen, I don't know if you noticed, we ran the 3-4 defense before a couple of years ago. Do you know we had a number 2 sack defense in the league that year?
That's when y'all had Starr and everybody else.
Yeah, we had Starr, we had Bruce Irvin, we had Gerald McCoy, we had Dontari Poe. We were the number 2 sack defense in the NFL. You know where that got us?
What?
A first trip at home, watching the playoff next to you and I. So look, man. So I don't like this 3-4 defense. Realistically, because of the run factor, I think we're probably going to be, if not mid, probably about 18. Probably
okay.
18. I'll tell you this, we're probably going to have a better pass defense than we are run defense. If that makes you happy, I think we're probably going to be closer to a top 10 pass defense instead of a run defense, to be honest with you. I don't like the 3-4, man. I don't.
Now, I want to ask you about this, right?
What, my size?
I want to ask you about Cam Newton. Do you think he is the greatest player in the history of the Carolina Panthers franchise?
Let me ask you a question. May I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
What's that jersey behind me?
Julius Peppers.
All right, next question. Let me tell you something. Julius Peppers, yeah.
But it's like Cam Newton took y'all to a Super Bowl. You feel me?
Hey,
he was
man.
an MVP. It's like when you think of the Carolina Panthers, honestly, like for the average Carolina Panthers fan, who do you think is going to come to mind?
Let me tell you something. You're right. You're absolutely right. I'm not going to rob Cam Newton. All jokes aside, when you're thinking about charismatic, when you're thinking about energetic, when you're thinking about appealing, there's only 2 Carolina Panthers that really make you fill out all those categories. That's Cam Newton, and that's
Steve Smith.
Steve Smith. That's it. Steve Smith and Cam Newton fill out every category I just mentioned there. But if we're talking about productivity, you know what I mean? You're talking about like, and listen, and see the problem with a lot of Carolina or Carolinians. Shout out to Carolina. I just had an old South Carolina barbecue sandwich. But look, man, look. The problem with Carolinians is we get hooked up on our locals. You know what I mean? Our local legends. You know what I mean? You don't hear the Steelers and the Eagles and the Cowboys talking about. Let me tell you something. When you hear Emmitt Smith, he was an NFL legend. Terry Bradshaw was an NFL legend. When you hear about when you hear about these guys, and if Cam was good. I mean, he was good. He was appealing. He's done a lot of great things. His philanthropy work, a lot of good things. Good man in the community, fan favorite, appealing, stylish, flashy, entertaining, dabbing and duping and all that other. He's a good boy. It's just a good guy, okay? And if listen, if your definition of great is being a good guy, then fine, that's your legend. If your NFL legend means he's a good boy and he makes you happy because he danced at a touchdown and he passed out football to kids, that's your legend. But for me, my Carolina Panther legend is a nigga who produced on and off the field. I remember when there was a hurricane in Carolina not too long ago. Julius Peppers was out there on. I think they had a bye week. There was a bye week. You remember when Carolina was practicing in an airport hangar or something because they didn't have a practice facility.
Yeah, because of the hurricane.
Julius Peppers was out there giving out water and shit. That's my guy. That's my goat. That's my goat, bro. Not only that, you're talking about top 10 in sacks. You're talking about the only guy that ever had 10 plus interceptions, plus over 100 sacks. You're not talking about local great. I ain't talking about a nigga who made you feel locally good. I'm talking about this nigga was nationally good. Peppers, bro. I told you when this nigga go to Canton, I'm there, bro. That's my goat, bro. Listen, there's nothing you can say to me that'll make you change that. Peppers is the GOAT.
What do you mean by production? Because it's like Cam Newton was a pretty good QB. He had some years when he was a fringe top 10 QB. He won MVP. He did take y'all to the Super Bowl. Y'all did go to the postseason and have some success with Cam. So it's not like he was a bum. Like, he lived up to the number one expectations. And if y'all didn't run him like a fullback, he might have been running a little bit longer. Or Ron Rivera. That
nigga wanted to be run. He wanted to do it. And let me tell you something, bro. Go back. See, listen, bro. I can't lie and sit here and tell you that I never loved Cam. I'll be a liar. I love Cam. I can't lie. I never can lie and say I did the dab. Yeah, I always, you know what I mean? But my thing is this. Cam lost his way to me. Here's my disconnect with Cam. Cam allowed for the limelight, the bullshit, to lose focus. To me, let me ask you this. Is Cam an all-time great, top 10 all-time great quarterback? Say again?
Nah.
Well, shit, we ain't got to talk about.
It's like in terms of Carolina Panthers history, though, it's a different conversation.
Yeah, but listen. When you're looking at impact, when you ask me who's the greatest Carolina Panther player of all time, what holds the most weight to you? What they did off the field, how they made you feel, or was it what they did on the field? And also the likability. What holds the most weight to you? Which category holds the most weight to you when you're talking about all-time legend in Panthers history?
Me, it's who was responsible for most of the team's success during their good years. Who was able to accomplish the most accolades, not just being a great team player, but also great nationally. Got the national recognition they deserve. And who also was able to come through in big moments. And when I think about Cam Newton, it's like, I kind of feel like Cam Newton, although he's not a Hall of Famer, I feel like he would belong in the Hall of Very Good with like guys like Julian Edelman. And I don't feel like Cam Newton really...
Man, what the hell are you talking about? Edelman?
Yeah, like Hall of Very Good. Like, he was a very good player. Like, if we were speaking of Hall of Fame for players who weren't Hall of Fame caliber, but just a little bit beneath that, we would have him in there. Same thing with Cam, because like I feel like Cam Newton is kind of a little bit underrated in terms of how he's viewed. Because like, yeah, he wasn't, consistently a top 10 QB, but he had some years. And you also got to remember that Cam Newton, this dude was an MVP. And not just the MVP winner, but he also took the Panthers to the Super Bowl. So it's like he had a lot of success for somebody who was a first overall pick. And he was always one of those players that you kind of look back at and you say, okay, he's not a Hall of Famer, but he had a lot of great moments. He was always somebody...
So let me ask you this. Is Matt Ryan the all-time Falcons greatest player all time?
Nah.
Why not? He got an MVP.
Julio Jones got way more.
Oh, you just told me MVP.
He's a Hall of Famer,
You see how
though.
stupid that shit is?
But it's like he got the MVP. He's up there, but Julio Jones is an all-time great, though. You feel me?
Okay. Why is Julio Jones all-time great?
Because he's one of the best receivers ever.
So his MVP don't override that? The Matt Ryan MVP don't over?
But that was one season where he was the top of his position. Julio Jones was arguably the top of his position. It was literally Antonio Brown.
All right, so hold on. Stay right there. Thank you. Thank you, Jesus. See, I got your ass now. What did you just say? You said that MVP season was one good year where he was the top of the position, but Julio Jones was the top of his position for pretty much his whole career. Same argument with Julius Peppers and Cam Newton. Cam had you. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, Jesus. Both these niggas. Hey, you just answered your own question, my son.
Come on now, dog.
Hey, Cam had one.
Come on, man.
Well, that nigga had MVP, but Peppers has always been a top 10 defensive end. Peppers rarely had a season. I don't think he even had a season with that nigga. Man, let me tell you something. Peppers, and I ain't talking about top 10 just for the Panthers. I'm talking about in the NFL. There's been times where Cam hasn't even been in the top 10 at his position. But you tell me what year has Pep? Listen, give me a year where Pep was in the top 10 defensive end in the NFL.
When he was.
There's no argument, bro. There's no argument. To me, that right there, that nigga's my GOAT, bro. That's why he's on the journey. Hey, you see the Cam shit here? Ain't got no Cam shit here.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah, bro.
If y'all would have won that Super Bowl, how differently would you view Cam?
That's a great question.
Now, as a matter of fact, what if he would have dove? I want to know your thoughts before that. How did you feel about him not diving on that ball in the Super Bowl? Honestly, because me personally, I kind of lost a little bit of respect for him for that, man. Yeah. Honestly, it's the Super Bowl. You got to go get that, man.
Yeah. A lot of people are saying this. If he dives on the football, he hurt his shoulder. Dive on the football, he can hurt it. It's the last game of the year. If you're going to go spend 16 months in the infirmary, you better do it in the Super Bowl.
Did you see Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, bro? I was watching the Netflix quarterback documentary series.
I love it.
Fam, Mahomes literally broke his ankle again in the Super Bowl against Jacksonville. He didn't even want to leave the game. He said, bro, him and Andy Reid were arguing over him going to get an X-ray.
Yep.
So it's like in the Super Bowl.
And that's the difference between legends and motherfuckers who are local favorites. That's the difference. Patrick Mahomes a legend. This other nigga you talking about, that's a local favorite because he make you feel good. You know what I mean? But listen, bottom line, when he didn't dive on that football, you're right. I lost some respect. It's a Super Bowl, bro. I don't give a damn you hurt, man. I mean, it's just a bad look, bro. And the way he did it. So the way he did it, the nigga had time to pause and think. He thought so like it would have been better if he listen, if he didn't want to fucking dive for the football, bro, all he had to do was dive off to the right. He could have acted like he went over the ball. You know what I mean? If he would have dove over it and slid, then I can say, okay, he made a chance. The ball just got away from him. He could have finessed that shit. I would have liked it, bro. I would have finessed that shit. Oh, I missed it. I'm sorry. This nigga, you know what he did? Go back and look at the tape. This nigga did a two-step. Nigga did this. Nigga did a two. I said, this old pussy ass nigga here, bro. Bro, that nigga did a. I said, what the fuck? Boy, this nigga took a time. Bro, he did that, bro. He did that. Nigga did a two-step. I said, God, you got to be kidding me. Bro, I'm going to tell you where I was, bro. I threw up. I had a trailer park. I was in a trailer, bro. I was in a trailer park. I had this whole big party, nigga. I had Philly cheesesteak. Nigga, I had pizza, wing. I had cake. I had beer. Nigga, I just had a whole trailer full of food, bro. And I remember just watching that shit, bro. And I remember just going numb, bro. Just looking at the screen, bro. Like, it's a joke. I could have swore Crank Yankers or somebody was going to come out the screen, prank or something, but shit was crazy, bro. So, yeah, I lost a lot of respect for that nigga for that. Yeah, lost a lot of respect for that nigga.
And how do you feel overall if they would have came through and won that Super Bowl? How differently would that impact his legacy, or at least how you view him?
Far as me, I can't really. I'll tell you this, man. If he wins that Super Bowl, I probably won't have so many jokes for him. I probably want to give a damn what he really do on social media and shit like that. To me, a part of the reason why I troll the way I troll is because to me, when I see people be great and greatness unfulfilled, that hurts me. Because in life, niggas feel like you always gonna get a chance to redeem yourself. Sometimes that one shot you got was it. Who know who could have told you the great MVP Cam Newton would never get a chance to return to a Super Bowl? Who could have thought that play? Who drew up that play? Who drew up that? Who giveth and taketh? And the fact that when you're in the moment, son, you got to give it your all because you don't know if you'll get another moment. So if he gets that play and we win that game, he lived forever in Carolina Panthers. If not Carolina Panthers, at least NFL history. One of the greatest seasons, one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. But to me, on the biggest stage, on the biggest light, you two-step your way into diving over football. And now when I see you, bro, have you ever seen like I don't want to say this on your channel, but I'm not gonna say it, but I'll put it like this. Have you ever seen like that cool high school kid? He was like an All-American. I mean, he could play, but he couldn't stop getting in trouble. So when you go back to your
of those guys, man, too many.
Yeah, and you go to your hood, you see this nigga sitting on the fence drinking alcohol. Now, what kind of feeling do you get when you see a nigga that's like, damn, bro, you used to run a 4.3? Well, let me ask you this: what do you see? What kind of feeling you get?
I mean, I get nostalgia. I see what you could have been.
That's what I see every time I see this nigga on TikTok. Every time I see him doing interviews, I'm looking like, man, Brody bad, bro. Brody had potential, bro. Brody done went from probably nigga was a hero, bro. Had my kid dabbing and everything to now I see you like the nigga on the gate, bro, drinking an alcohol. You know what I mean?
I don't
lost potential.
I still have a lot of respect for Cam, which is why I feel like he's a little bit underrated. He was a very good QB. I mean, he was really influential. Like you said, and you got a point with that. Like, a lot of people, even though Cam Newton didn't have the individual success that Julius Peppers had, you know, he gave the Carolina Panthers a taste of glory. And that's something that you guys haven't really tasted all that often. So people are always going to remember, getting to the Super Bowl. You feel me? And plus, Cam Newton had a huge influence, in terms of marketability. Super marketable. Yeah. You feel me? So it's like the youth.
I'm a fat nigga. I need more than just a taste of glory.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's y'all had some okay seasons, okay seasons. Y'all never went to the playoffs back to back. But it's I feel like Cam Newton lived up to the billing of a number one pick. I feel like he had a really good career, and I think that kind of gets overlooked about him. I feel like we talking about some of the most underrated QBs of the last 2 decades. I would have Cam Newton on there. This dude was a force on the ground, had a great arm, and there were times where he really was Superman. Honestly, I feel like y'all ran him down into the ground. Because people make it seem like Cam Newton...
Yeah, stop. Man, you said that shit second time. I got to get you again, bro. You keep saying rain down in the grain, bro. You got to watch his vlog, bro. So listen, bro, I'm a fear guy, bro. I'm fear, okay? So you talking about a guy who was vlogging in the middle of the season. This guy got lost in his own sauce, bro. I used to watch Cam Newton vlog after a game. Mm. He talked about when he suffered, I think, that foot injury again. He talked about how, man, I literally, this is what he said on his own vlog. He said, I literally thought I was Superman. He said, I started buying into what people were saying about me, and I thought I was Superman. That's that narcissistic bullshit. So he got lost, bro. So to me, Cam got lost in the sauce, bro.
But it's not like
you say wear yourself down into the ground. No, nigga, that nigga ego ran the south. Nigga thought he was Superman until we had a Lex Luger his ass. I mean, or to somebody else Lex Luger his ass. You know what I mean? Plutonium his ass. Now all of a sudden people want to feel sad. No. That nigga ego grew so big to where he thought he was unstoppable. He thought, like I told you, my bro, yeah, and you young too, bro. You gotta cherish every moment in life. Let me tell you something, bro. And there's so many times, nigga, I wish I could go back. I wish I could go back to college and handle that situation different. I wish I could. There's so many different. Listen, I don't know what. Please, bro, embellish the moment, cherish the moment, make the most. You don't get another one. It don't come around. I mean, if you're lucky, God give you twice, but it don't come back around. I remember being in college one moment to 8 years later, I'm out that motherfucker. And my dreams and shit are over with. I mean, so for a nigga to be like that, and to me, that's why let me say this because this is like therapy for me. This is where a lot of my animosity towards him comes from. Because I feel like a guy who was so greatly gifted, a guy who was so greatly talented, immensely talented, a charitable giver, man of the people, and you talking about you felt like he lived up to the number one pick. To me, I felt like he underwhelmed because who was an okay number one pick? Let me who was an okay number one pick to you?
I mean, honestly, as a quarterback,
yeah.
I mean, we don't have too many good ones. I mean, recently, Joe Burrow. That's kind of about it.
Well, I put it to you like this. A guy that talent should have delivered more. He should have delivered more, man. And it wasn't because, people want to they want to holler about this wide receiver. He didn't have no talent around him. He didn't have no talent around him. True enough, man, but he was good enough to, remember I was talking about earlier about Bryce Young, about him carrying the load and shit?
Yeah.
Well, Bryce physically can't do that. Cam was built for this shit. You ever heard that phrase, I'm built for it? Cam was built for it. But the only thing about it was Cam got distracted in his own head, man. He listened to these fools out here that hyped him up and made him, you know what I mean? Let me tell you, if you sit, let me start here. I'm gonna wrap this up. Start here. When you look at quarterbacks that are gonna go down in NFL history, look at Russell Wilson. You know what I mean? Even though he did that bonehead play in the Super Bowl, he made it to 2 Super Bowls. When you look at guys like Patty Mahomes, multiple Super Bowls. When you look at like who else was in that generation there? Russell. It was that whole. What was it? Seattle.
Aaron
it was Carolina.
Rodgers.
You had Rodgers going to Super Bowl. Who else? Who else was going to Super Bowls and stuff?
Brady.
Manning was there. Brady, Manning, Rodgers, and Cam. Okay. Brady went to multiple Super Bowl. Manning went to multiple Super Bowl. Wilson went to multiple Super Bowls. Rodgers, man, I think he only won one. And then you got Cam. When you look at Cam, and you mean to tell me he couldn't do what Russell did?
But couldn't make it at the same time. He had to get through Russell and that defense. And at some point, it's like when you're going against a team as talented as Seattle, you got to have some.
Nigga, we was talented. Nigga, that whole generation, Carolina's defense was top 10.
But it's like, what about the offenses, though? You feel me? Now, there were some years, though, where he did have weapons, which is why I agree with you to an extent. It's just like, I still feel like Cam Newton is a little bit better than what you kind of give him credit for. That's why I kind of feel like he's a little bit underrated. Like, I kind of feel like Cam Newton, in terms of, what he did on the ground game for Carolina, you feel me? Like, he kind of was Superman to the Panthers. He kind of did everything.
Yeah, stop with that Superboy shit. I don't even like that, man.
But it's like I feel where you coming from though with like the ego stuff. The whole font thing kind of is like, I like people being different, but it's a little too much to me just because it's a little hard to read. It's like, you feel me? But it's like me personally,
he's a narcissist in my book. I think we all got a little bit of narcissism. Let's be real about it. He's a narcissist, but here's my thing. I don't mind you being a narcissist, and I don't mind you being colorful. I'm a colorful guy. But you better deliver when it's on the line. Nobody cares about what Patrick Mahomes' brother be doing when that nigga win a Super Bowl. Who cares about Jackson Mahomes out here doing it when he's winning a Super Bowl? Let me tell you something. Yeah, Juju Smith. When he was the still a TikTok boy, everybody was talking shit about Juju Smith. Juju Smith still on TikTok, but nobody got nothing to say because he got a Super Bowl. So the thing of it is, with this nigga here, this nigga had all that shit, and okay, I ain't got no problem with you. I ain't got no problem with that if you win. Problem is your ass wasn't winning.
But he
wasn't winning.
I mean, he did go to a Super Bowl. He did win some playoff games, so it's like he did win. Like, come on, I feel like Cam Newton had a little bit of a better career than what you're giving him credit for.
All right, let me ask you, what do you rank? What do you rank Pep? What do you rank Pep as the greatest Panther of all time?
Patrick Mahomes?
Pep.
Pap,
nigga.
Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you talking about Julius Peppers?
What do you rank him as the Carolina all-time great?
I probably got him second.
This nigga here, bro. I think you in love with Cam. Let's be honest. You in love with Cam nostalgia. Let's keep it a buck. Yeah, okay. So just say that. Say he's my greatest Carolina Panther of all time because he made me feel good. Say that.
But it's like he performed though. He took the Panthers to the Super Bowl. They was dominating everybody, bro. Like you can't overlook this, man.
Yeah, he performed. I mean, obviously, you got to put him up there in the top 5. I mean, I wouldn't put him outside the top 5, but to me, Cam left it on. He left a little on the table.
I feel that.
Pep ain't leave nothing on the table, bro. Pep ain't leave nothing on the table. Let me ask you this: can you say Julius Pepper's career he didn't give everything he had? He left some on the table. Exactly. So that's my point, bro. Pepper emptied the tank. To me, there's nothing higher this man could have done to make himself as good as he was. Can you say Cam left it all on the table? So hold on. No. Don't shake your head. I need you to answer this for the tape. We need to get this shit on tape. Okay, so listen. When you ask me who my greatest Carolina Panther is of all time, here's the only question that you need to ask. And I want you to ask this. I don't know who else you got coming up later, but when you ask them for about their team, who's the number 1 player of all time, you ask them this question. Did they reach their potential? Did they give it all they had as far as their potential on and off the field, as far as them being the best of the best of the best that they could have ever been? Did they max out their potential on the field and off the field? And if they can't answer that, then they're not the number 1. I can say wholeheartedly, with everything in my body, Peppers maxed out his potential on the field and off the field. That's it, brother. Now, if you can't answer that question, you a Cam Newton lover. I love the man. I think he's a good dude. But if you can sit here and tell me this nigga maxed out his potential on and off the field, you're lying to yourself. And I don't like liars. Now, I know that. Come on now. You just answered that now. Come on now. He made a lot of niggas feel good. A lot of children feel good. A lot of babies and shit.
Yeah, the Cleveland.
Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? But he left it on. He left some change on the table. That's all I got to say about that. That's all I got to say about that, baby.
Now let's talk about this quarterback.
Yeah.
Andrew Luck. Now you remember Andrew Luck, right?
I sure do.
Now, you know he had a short career, just like how Luke Kuechly had a short career. But even though it was a short career, they already had cemented themselves as one of the best of their generation. You feel me? Of their positions. But with Andrew Luck, though, me personally, don't think he did enough to be Hall of Fame worthy. He never went to a Super Bowl. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Now, he did carry Indianapolis. He was really good. Oh, yeah. He was doing something that Joe Burrow kind of did when he took them to the Super Bowl. He had the receivers, but the offensive line was the worst to ever reach the Super Bowl since Roger Staubach. So with Andrew Luck, it's just like, I feel like he was really good, but he really didn't play long enough. I just need more years of dominance from a guy like Andrew Luck. Like, Patrick Mahomes could retire right now and be a Hall of Famer. You feel me? Undoubtedly.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Andrew Luck, he left it on the table, bro. I think, man, and it's unfortunate, man, because this was another quarterback that was asked to do it all. And he had the physical measurable, man. He had the height, he had the size. The thing is with him, man, first of all, I don't really think he loved the game as much as, he portrayed. I think he liked playing the game there, man, but ultimately, man, I don't think he fell in love with it. And plus, those injuries added up real fast, man. So, I think those injuries added up real fast, and shit, man, nothing like an injury to make you get the hell on. But he was good. I mean, he was good. He done a lot for the team, bro. But I can't call him Hall of Famer, bro. Nah, hell no. That's an easy question. Hell no.
Yeah, like I just feel like people just like to crown people just because they like their personality, how they handle themselves.
Exactly.
And if they get a small whiff of success, like they just want to go ahead and crown them. But with Andrew Luck, it's just like It's kind of like Cam Newton, but it's like Andrew Luck did leave it all on the field. You feel me? So it's like with Andrew Luck, it's kind of like, he just kind of got tired, and the Indianapolis Colts didn't do a good job at building around him, and I think that's why people make this Hall of Fame argument for him. It's like he's a quarterback, he had a large impact on the Colts' success, but it's like at the same time you can't use that as an argument for somebody getting into the Hall of Fame. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter your situation.
That's a stupid argument, JT. That's like Patrick Willis. I think he was one of the greatest linebackers, but he retired. You know what I mean? That nigga retired. To me, and I hate to say this, but you might want to check your numbers against Luke Kuechly. Him and Luke Kuechly, that nigga, Patrick might have got him, but again, he retired, so I can't really say that. Can't really say that, man.
Yeah, so last thing is this, right? The Kansas City Chiefs going into this year, do you think they're going to win the AFC again, or do you think there's finally going to be somebody to knock them off?
That's going to be a bloodbath, man. That AFC is a bloodbath. I'm telling you, bro. It's going to be fun to watch. You got Burrow. Now, listen, here's a hot take for you. I don't know if you ever watched the show, but I said this. I got Burrow NFL MVP this year. I think Burrow's winning the NFL MVP. I think Josh Allen and Mahomes are going to go at it. Herbert, man, I'm still waiting for him to come up to the party. Herbert has a lot of potential, man, but I don't know what's going on with Herbert. Herbert's kind of like in a sunken place.
It's that OC.
Who they got now? They got Dallas OC, right?
Yeah, Kellen Moore. He's going to be launching that thing this year.
Yeah, so they're going to have a breakout year. I'm telling you now, Chargers going to have a breakout year with Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore as the cornerback. As the OC. Yeah, man. But Herbert, for some reason, man, I think he's here with the OC. You got Keenan Allen, you got Mike Williams, Eckler, Horton Johnston. Man, listen, them boys should have bought a lot, but it's hard to go against Patty, man. It's hard to go against old Najely. It's hard to get. Listen, I hate the way that nigga talk. Might need a shot of Afrin, but I'm gonna tell you this, man. You might be looking at the next dynasty. When we're talking about Tom Brady and shit, bro, you might be looking at a dynasty. I think they may come out but by the skin of their teeth. I think Burrow got something to say about it.
I really do, fam. I really do, but on the low, and I know you said you didn't like him earlier, I really feel like people are sleeping on the Ravens, fam. They had a top 5 defense last year. This is a team that has Lamar Jackson fully healthy the majority of the times when they're in the running for the number 1 overall seed. And plus, he won 70% of his games. And the thing with Lamar is, he hasn't had the weapons. Now, you can say the Ravens have won with less before with Joe Flacco, but this is a new NFL. It's a passing league. The teams that's making it to the Super Bowl have good receivers. And Lamar Jackson has that. Now, OBJ, you can have concerns about him being able to stay healthy, right? But the Ravens are one of those franchises who are able to squeeze juice out of players who are up there in age or past their prime. Remember Steve Smith? When he left Carolina, you probably thought it was over. Goes to Baltimore.
I know he had at least one more in him. He had at least 1 or 2 more in him when he left. Yeah. I don't even know why you brought the Ravens up. I told you I don't like Lamar Jackson. I don't think, I just don't believe him. Because at the end of the day, JT, listen to this. At the end of the day, the game is a passing game. Listen, all that shit, listen. Because let me tell you something. You a smart guy at football. I might hire you on Panthers Uncensored. If I ever decide to open a co-host, I might just tell you to come on over here because I really like you, man. Good kid, man. I think you know a lot. I watch you, man. I'm quiet. I watch you. I sit back. You work hard. I watch how you produce. Might need to come join up with me. But I'll tell you this right here, man. You and I both know when it comes to the playoff, man, when that goddamn round shrinks from wild card to divisional, the defense gets better, and better. Okay? And what wins? What quarterback wins when that defense shrinks? The passing quarterback. Don't give me the shit about Patrick Mahomes being an exception to the rule. Patrick Mahomes is the Michael Jordan of quarterbacks.
But Lamar can throw, though. He ain't somebody that's not. He's completing over 60% of his passes.
Nigga, I'll come through the screen on your ass.
You make it seem like Marquise Brown was balling out with Lamar.
Bro, your fandom, bro. Sometimes your fandom be overruling you, bro. What did you see with the Titans that climbed up on his ass? What did you see when
that was okay?
I'm talking about the playoff, bro.
I got you. But what about the second time they played when he beat them and they went on the road and lost to Buffalo?
Well, you know the sun even shines on a dog ass sometime. You know that, right?
But it's not like he hasn't won in the postseason though. That's the thing. It's like you can't say he.
How many AFC Championship games have Lamar? I'm not talking about Super Bowl. Not talking about Super Bowl. How many AFC Championship games Lamar Jackson been to, bro?
0.
So how are we even having a conversation about this guy being?
Because you can always shift the narrative. You feel me? You can always change the narrative. Before Cam Newton went to that Super Bowl, I don't think there was too many people who ever thought that Cam Newton of all QBs would be even playing in the Super Bowl. You feel me? I think that's why a lot of people still remember Cam. Because it's like he went to a damn Super Bowl, Cam Newton. You feel me? Out of all QBs who you thought would have made it to the Super Bowl, Cam Newton? You feel me? So it's like...
No, Cam was good at coming out of college. I mean, he won a national championship coming out of college.
But, it was a narrative about Cam that, he wasn't a great passer. You feel me? Right. And that he was a quarterback that you couldn't win with. And you look at Lamar Jackson, he is a pretty solid passer. People make it seem like Marquise Hollywood Brown was held back because of Lamar. He was more held back because of the system. Lamar got him the ball.
Let me tell you this, JT. When Cam came into the league, he had his OC at Chanutsky.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, coming out of college. They had a scheme built strictly for him. That's why he was able to produce so early. He could do for like 4,000 yards. They already knew what kind of quarterback he was. That's called good coaching, man. Lamar Jackson had Roman, what's his name? Greg Roman. And Greg Roman did wonders for Lamar.
But he's a good run game coordinator. His passing concepts were really bad. They got Todd Monken now. He was with Georgia.
Yeah.
And Todd Monken was lit with the Buccaneers with Jameis Winston and Ryan Fitzpatrick.
So let me tell you this. So this nigga having a great passing season, but he regressed when it comes to running. What you gonna say there?
Shoot. I ain't gonna care because, like you said, it's a passing league, and I understand that he has receivers, and with him running less, that's good. If he's able to be better throwing the football and he doesn't have to run as more, that's good for him long term. Even the casual fans should understand that because,
Lamar Jackson not good, bro.
He's a good thrower. He's a solid thrower.
He's an entertainer.
I don't think he's an entertainer. He's a quiet guy.
Oh, he don't entertain you watching him play?
I mean, he's electrifying. He's fun to watch, but he's a good player, though. He wins games. It's not like he's a loser. It's not like he's in a Justin Fields situation where it's like he hasn't proven to be able to win. Like, he's able to win. Like, he wins 70% of his games.
I'll tell you this, Sarah. I'm glad you brought that up. I'll take Justin Fields over Lamar Jackson.
Nah.
With the weapons. Give Justin Fields Lamar Jackson weapon.
You'll take Justin Fields over Lamar?
With Lamar Jackson's weapons.
So give Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, and Darnell Mooney, and giving Justin Fields, OBJ, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers. You think they're a better team with Justin Fields than they are with Lamar?
First round exit. You give Lamar Jackson, DJ Moore, and Mooney, and Cole Kmet. You're looking at a first round exit.
I mean, at least you make it to the playoffs. You don't make it with Justin Fields.
You get a first round exit.
Pending based on how he played last year, even though I love Justin Fields. But all right, I do like the New York Jets, though. How you feeling about Aaron Rodgers?
I'll put it to you like this, man. This gives me Brett Favre vibes all over again. You remember when Brett Favre went to went to New York? They actually were in the thick of it, man. So I actually like Garrett Wilson. As a matter of fact, if you're in a fantasy league, don't you touch my guy. I think I'm going to get Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson's going to have a good season. I like Breece Hall, Quinn Williams, Sauce Gardner. That team is looking real good, man. And then they got my guy, that tackle. What's his name? That big black motherfucker I like. What's
Quinn
the tackle?
Williams?
Huh?
Quinn Williams?
No, the offensive tackle.
Oh, you talking about Mekhi Becton?
Mekhi Becton.
Yeah, as long as he can stay healthy.
Yo, that's going to be good. Hey, I ain't going to say they're going to win the AFC North. AFC East, excuse me. I got for right now. I think Buffalo holds it barely. Buffalo barely,
You still
bro.
believe in the Bills?
Yeah.
Why? Do you think they got a better chance than the Cincinnati Bengals
For what?
for being able to dethrone Kansas City?
No. What I'm telling you is the
You
AFC
like it
East.
for the East? Okay, because
Yeah, for the AFC East. I think the Bills come out, but I'm telling you this: Josh Allen's about to fall into that Lamar Jackson category because Josh Allen chokes like a motherfucker in the playoffs. Josh Allen chokes in the playoff, bro. He about to fall just in that Lamar Jackson.
I wouldn't say that because in that overtime loss, he didn't even get an opportunity.
Why they had to go to overtime?
Well, I mean, their defense was terrible. So, I mean, he had the ball. They drove downfield. They sent the game to OT. It was more because of defense. Couldn't stop Mahomes. It's like if Josh Allen got that ball first, they probably win that game. Because
Josh Allen's a turnover machine, bro.
But I feel you, though. You got a point with that. He almost cost them against the Dolphins.
He's a turnover. He almost lost. Who's that backup quarterback from Miami when they played? Skylar Thompson. I'm gonna beat this nigga. Hey, listen. In case you're not listen, Josh Allen is one of my favorite quarterbacks. I'm sorry, he's one of my favorite quarterbacks. He's not my favorite, but he's one of them. So I'm hoping he turns around. But with the Jets coming in there, I think the Jets are going to push him to the limits. Ultimately, Buffalo probably either one and done or maybe second round and done. I don't see nobody. Listen, AFC Championship game. Go ahead and put Cincinnati and Kansas City back together. First of all, it's a fun matchup. I love to watch that matchup. But I don't see – I think people don't give Joe Burrow enough respect, man. Burrow's that guy. And to me, and again, I think he's the MVP of the league. And if you ask me, he's better than Patrick Mahomes. You won't know it. You know why? Because this nigga's playing with a horrible offensive line. Let me ask you that. Has Patrick Mahomes had his knee snapped up already? You know what I mean? All right.
We saw that Mahomes look like a bad offensive line against Tampa.
So stay right there. Exactly. So stay right there. I was watching that quarterback series, bro. Shout out to you, bro. I was watching that quarterback series. And I'm not going to say what I want to say, but Patrick Mahomes, when he got rolled around on that ankle, he was all in the mic like a little girl. I said, this nigga here, bro. That got on my nerve, bro. Like, but you talking about
boy Kirk Cousins was taking it like a champ.
Yeah, Kirk Cousins was rolling around like a hoe too. He was on the ground rolling around like a hoe. And then two niggas rolling around like a hoe. But look, bro, Joe Burrow, you gotta be insane, bro. Think about this. Listen, let me take my hat off. If I'm Joe Burrow, bro, when it comes contract negotiation, I'm forcing my way out of Cincinnati. If this guy plays with any other team, he's probably a two-time champion.
Hold on, they improved the offensive line though. They did last year. They got Orlando Brown now.
This nigga don't made it to the Super Bowl, being sacked the most quarterback in the playoffs, the most sacked quarterback in the regular season. Think about how good you got to be to literally be the most sacked quarterback to make the Super Bowl. This guy was the most.
People, how you feel about this? People say that he has no fourth quarter touchdowns. How would you respond to that?
He has no fourth quarter touchdown. It's a team sport, man.
Which matters more, man? The touchdowns in the fourth quarter or the player who comes through and finds ways to win the game?
The player who come find a win game, man. Unfortunately, man.
I'm glad that you realize the greatness of Joe Burrow. Like, I really feel like it's going to come down to the Jets, the Bengals, and the Ravens. Like, I feel like Lamar's going to show you. Like, he got
who you got Kansas City? Who you got getting knocked out by Kansas City? Who you got knocking out Kansas City?
Either the Ravens, Bengals, or the Jets.
You in love with that Ravens shit. I don't know what that's about, man.
Because they got Todd Monken. Like, they're now going to be able to throw the football. And they got receivers with OBJ, Zay Flowers. It's like, say what you want to say about Lamar's passing. He's not a crappy passer. You feel me? Like, he is a solid passer. He has shown the ability to throw the football. You got to remember, like, Greg Roman is somebody who is more of an old school guy. A lot of tight ends, you feel me, 12 personnel. But with Todd Monken, this is somebody who's more modern. 3 wide receiver sets. The Ravens never really are a team that spends a lot on the wide receiving core. Look what they have with Lamar now. And you look at how much the game has changed. After the Cincinnati Bengals drafted Jamar Chase instead of Penei Sewell, and they went to the Super Bowl that season, it was over. Teams are like, you know what? Like, we don't need a great old line. Like, we can worry about that later. You feel me? Like, we need to go ahead and we need to get these receivers. It's a passing league. Look at all these quarterbacks. The best quarterbacks are in the AFC. And what do they all have? Receivers. Look at the 4 teams that we had in conference championship week. Eagles, receivers. 49ers, Brandon Ayuk, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle. Bengals, Chiefs. You feel me? Even though the Chiefs didn't have great receivers, but they had Andy Reid and they had Travis Kelce.
Right.
So it's like, I think the league has changed.
And that's why I think Bryce could come out of the NFC. I mean, Bryce Young. I think he has a chance to come out the NFC South.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, not the NFC. Because like you said, there's no name a quarterback wide receiver combination in the NFC. I mean, you got Jalen Hurts and those guys. I mean, outside of that, like, who's an elite wide receiver quarterback combo in the NFC?
Shoot.
Now I'm talking about both now.
Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson.
Man, don't you ever say Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins is good, but he's not elite. I'm talking about elite quarterback wide receiver combo in the NFC.
That's about it.
Jalen Hurts and Devontae Smith and A.J. Brown. Who else?
That's it.
Goff and Amon-Ra St. Brown. They're not elite.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so with that being said, somebody got to come out of there.
Yeah. But, you know, it is a first time for everything. It's just like you got Geno Smith, you got Jared Goff. Like, you got the NFC that's home with the very good quarterbacks, not the very great quarterbacks. The AFC has the superstars.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you what, though. You better watch out for Seattle.
I've been telling people, bro.
Yeah. Seattle
they took Russell Wilson and flipped him into pretty much a Super Bowl team.
Yeah. Nick Buck, Tyler Lockett, and DK Metcalf. I think we play Seattle this year. I think we do. That shit's going to be crazy, bro. I'm telling you, man. I mean, to see Nick Buck, who's probably going to be your third best receiver in the slot, you're potentially talking about a guy like C.J. Henderson lining up against me.
Come on now, dog.
Yeah, I don't like that. Man.
Come on, man.
So, shit, bro. I don't know, man. I think they could make some noise. That depends on if Geno doesn't have a regret. Yeah, Geno don't have no regret. I told you that nigga took him 13 years to become a good quarterback, but you know, I guess better
admire the persistency.
Yeah. I mean, I can't knock a man for not giving up, man. Who wants to make fun of a guy not giving up? But yeah, man, I think they're a real sleeper team coming out of there. And then I guess for the AFC, probably go with the Chargers, man. If they can get their head out their butts, man.
Honestly, I don't really like Brandon Staley as their head coach. Now, if they had Sean Payton,
yeah, I would say the Jaguars, but the Jaguars ain't a sleeper, are they?
I feel like they're a year behind. I feel like next year is their year.
Okay, so if they are a sleeper, then let me change that. So you would consider Jaguars a sleeper this year? Okay, well, let me change that then. Then I'll go with the Jags. So the Jags.
My sleeper, if I had to pick one, the Dolphins. They're lit.
Hey, they ain't no real sleeper, man. I mean, they got stars all over the place, bro. All they really missing is a quarterback.
You don't believe in Tua?
Who?
Tua?
You mean motherfucking MRI? That's not funny. Don't laugh at that. That's not funny. Nah, Tua's mid, bro. Tua's mid. You got Waddle and Tyreek Hill there, bro. Bro, they should be wiping niggas' asses, bro. I don't know why. I don't know, man. I thought they were trying to get Tom Brady. If y'all ever had got Tom Brady, bro, that probably be crazy, bro.
Yeah.
And the water on them.
But everyone, this is BigKatt that we have on. We appreciate him for coming on tonight. Shout out to D1 for you for the $10 donation. He says, appreciate you, JT and BigKatt. Night. We appreciate you for the $10 donation. And everyone, we have BigKatt on, host of Panthers Uncensored. Make sure to go ahead, subscribe to him, check him out. BigKatt, what do you guys have planned for the channel over the next couple of weeks?
Next couple of weeks, we're gearing up for training camp here coming up here soon. So I'm probably going to be covering that pretty hard. Yeah, man, look, man, that's probably about it. We also got the season fastly approaching. So I will be week 1. I will be in Atlanta. So I'm excited about that here. But as far as the channel, man, you can follow me on TikTok at the official BigKatt as well. Been cranking out some shorts here. I've really just been kind of taking some rest, trying to get myself together, man, and so I can come back with some great content for you guys and not the redundant, same old, same stuff that, I just want to, come back fresh for you guys. It's a long, long, long season, and I want to be able to give you my best, man. So I ain't going nowhere, not yet anyway. I'm on my way out, but not yet. So make sure you head over there, man. We got training camp coming up. Make sure you stay with us, locked in for some good coverage, man.
Everyone, this is BigKatt. Make sure to subscribe to Panthers Uncensored one last time. And listen to the JT Sports Podcast. We are not just available on YouTube. You can find us on all podcasting platforms, Apple, Google, Spotify. Wherever you get your podcast from, you can find the JT Sports Podcast. Leave us with a 5-star review. If you love the channel, support the podcast, give us a 5-star review. We're close to 100 on Apple and Spotify. So go ahead, type in the JT Sports Podcast, give us a 5-star review, or you can go down to the description down below, click on the Apple or Spotify links. It will give you the direct link to the podcast. We appreciate you for coming on, BigKatt. Have a good